Rugby World Rankings for the first round of the Rugby Championship, folks. The Boks and the Pumas getting wins. The ABs and Wallabies going down. How does that affect the rankings? And what are the possible permutations for round two? We'll go through them pretty quick and you guys can let us know your thoughts. South Africa still top of the world, 93.11, but no change for the Boks. They are too far ahead of the Wallabies, even though they were away from home. Too far ahead of the Wallabies to take any points, so no change despite that kind of dominant win. Still the number one side in the world. Ireland number two. And there's a question. Do you think the All Blacks are in that top three kind of cluster? Because prior to this change in the world rankings, there were three sides in the 90s. The Boks, the Irish, and the ABs. And there seemed to be a little bit of a gap between them and the kind of next group of maybe France and England. But now is it that the All Blacks aren't part of that top two group because they are in the 80s? What do you guys reckon? Or is it just kind of one game is too early to make a call on that? Certainly the All Blacks aren't going to get back into the 90s even if they win their game at Eden Park. They did lose a full 2 points to the Argentinians, so down from 90.37 to 88.37, but not enough to drop them below the French and then the English. Then the Argentinians, taking a full 2 points off the ABs, have surpassed the Scots. So 83.64. It's about as high as we've seen Argentina in the world rankings for quite some time. They've kind of usually flirted around this lower left side of the whiteboard, but now they are really making a wee charge, and then they'll have their tails up for this game at Eden Park. And then the Aussies, as I mentioned, no change with their game against the South Africans. Still below the Italians here on 78.96. The rest of the board hasn't changed because they haven't been playing any games, but you've still got Wales, Georgia, Samoa, Japan, Portugal, Tonga, Uruguay, Spain, USA, and Romania. The big news is of this side of the board, I guess, is the fact that Samoa aren't going to be playing their games in November due to kind of having some financial woes, which is one that World Rugby's come out and said, well, we gave you some money, where's it gone? I don't know. That's an unfortunate one if we don't get to see Samoa playing, because they don't get as many games as it is, and it's hard for the coaches to get them into shape if they don't get the game time. They already get very limited game time as it is. Possible permutations for round two. The South Africans can lose number one spot in the world to the Irish if they were to lose to the Wallabies. And they gain nothing from a win because the gap between them is too high. Now, the Wallabies can gain a full 2 points if they were to beat South Africa by 1-15. So they would pass the Italians. They would gain 3 points if they were to win by 16 plus. Any kind of win would be most welcome, you would think, for the Wallabies, but they will just be looking to put in a more competitive performance at the bare minimum because they were not in that game for large periods. The All Blacks can take points off the Argentinians, but not a lot. It's like 0.23 if it's a close game and 0.34 if it's 16 plus. 16 plus is what some people are kind of predicting, saying that there's going to be a backlash, especially at Eden Park. What do you guys reckon? There seems to be, for many of us, I think more pressure on the ABs for that one than the Pumas. But they could drop below France if the Pumas were to go back-to-back and win over here in NZ. And the Pumas could pass England if they were to win 1-15. They could even pass New Zealand if they were to go 16 plus, which would be a hell of a result. Like, to break the Eden Park record by 1 point would still be a massive achievement. But imagine doing it by 16 plus. They just broke the record for most points scored by a visiting team against the All Blacks in New Zealand. So stranger things have happened, but I'm pulling for an AB's victory. Man, we could certainly use that after week number one. But you guys let us know your thoughts on how close you reckon the accuracy is to the reality of these world rankings. If you want to see some girls chase me down when I was in China, I'll put a link up to that video. There's no rugby on today. Or tomorrow, check out some girls chasing me down and asking for my contact details on my last visit to China. 2 cents on tour. That's up in the thing or down in the thing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Take care of yourselves. And we look forward to the rugby this weekend. Talk to you guys again soon. See you later.